Hi guys, and welcome to our coverage of the Drawn Art and Design Winter Fair at the Museum and Art Gallery in Shrewsbury. I gotta say, what a weekend that was. An absolute blast. I had such a good time. Spent a good amount of time collecting conversations that I had with people, great conversations. Now, when you're doing these things, time flies. You're having conversation after conversation after conversation with people, and you don't realize how long of a production it's going to be until you put it all together. And you know, I love conversation. It's the reason I do this thing. So speaking to these amazing people was an absolute privilege. It's only when I've put it all together. I'm looking at it right now. It's due to be released soon. And for day one alone, I nearly got an hour and 45 minutes of conversation with people just on day one. So day one is going to be split up into parts 1 and 2. I've got no choice. I want to give every artist that has been featured on these on this day, and for day 2 as well, a fair chance just to shine a little bit. So if I cut it in half, it makes it easier for the artists to stand out. I want to say a huge thank you to Cherie and to Tat, Effby, for inviting me, for being so accommodating, for being lovely throughout the whole process. I think maybe we need to organise an after event interview with those guys, because it'd be great to talk about what they thought about the day. I thought it was fantastic. It was well organised. I think it looked great. The flow of people was brilliant. You know, there was no massive queues or anything. And, you know, the art on display was just breathtaking. To see Gary Drew sat there working away whilst chatting to people, inspiring young artists. And the event also brought artists in as well. You had Mike Perkins come in and have a wander around. It was Aaron Child walking around as well. You know, lots of nice people. So absolute privilege to be part of it. So anyway, I'll take it away. This is part 1, and this will be about 45 minutes. And yeah, hope you enjoy this. Here is day 1, part 1. Enjoy. Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. We're at Drawn today at the Museum and Art Gallery in Shrewsbury. It's Illustrators Fair. We did do the interview with Cherie and Tat to sort of talk about what we're doing today. Just got to let you know I don't own any of the music that's in the background there, so please nobody sue me. It's incidental, so you know. And today we're starting off by speaking to somebody I just met. And do you want to introduce yourself, Gary, about what it is you do?
Yeah, Gary Drew. I'm an artist. I do lots of murals, and I've got paintings in the Soden Gallery over here in Shrewsbury in Wildcop.
I remember walking at Wildcop and seeing your art at Soden Gallery, because your beautiful art has so many different intricate little bits stuck inside it that you could just find yourself staring at your art for such a long time, trying to find all the little bits that you've hidden in there.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. I think there's paintings have been sold and people still don't know what's in them, yeah. And I haven't told them, and I think they'll be quite shocked when they find it.
Where does this start for you? Where does, art? Is it
the art or the painting?
Art for you. I mean, it starts from somewhere, doesn't it? There's that thing in your head that makes you like, I want to do this.
Oh, I've always wanted to draw. Into school, all the way through school. My reports used to say, I don't know why you send this child to school. All he wants to do is draw. I've never done anything but draw. My dad was a sign writer. He was really heavily into art. My mum's very artistic. We've got family members all through the generations that are famous artists even. One particular one, which is he's called Billy Apple. If you search him up on Google, you'll see the work that he's done. Very famous, unfortunately died a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Oh, I'm very sorry for your loss.
But he's he used to knock around with Andy Warhol.
Really?
Yeah. So art is in the blood.
How's that fare up though to a budding young artist? Is there a lot of pressure there to try and sort of fit in with the family code, or
no, none at all. All do different things. I never set out to do art for any other reason than myself. I like doing art. I do it for me. I don't do it for anybody else. And I do what I want to do. Obviously, I have to do the odd commission to pay, give me my money to get by. I'm not one of these struggling artists, and I'm not into that.
I'm sat right next to, I'm kind of encroaching on one of your nice banners here, and your art is just displayed everywhere. You said it's all around the world, right?
It's all around the world, yeah. As far as you can go, New Zealand, Australia, China, America, all over Europe. I get a lot of commissions, and then that's just the mural side of things. Then I've got the paintings as well. The paintings I've had in galleries for years, but at the moment I just do the Soden Gallery in Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
Just supply them.
COVID-wise, obviously we couldn't really travel and stuff. Did that really
nightmare
mess things up for you?
Yeah, that was 18 months stuck at home, considering that most of my work is abroad.
Yes.
And then because of the isolation rules and everything, I wasn't allowed to do anything. It was a little bit awkward as well because I've got two children, youngish. The wife was off work, the kids were off school, and I had months where I just couldn't do anything because of the distractions.
Yeah. It's a solitary thing, isn't it? Mostly.
Well, I think with art, you've got to get in the zone. You've got to be left, and you're thinking, and your head's continuously thinking. And I don't think people realise. I think because it was an easy subject in school, people think, oh yeah, you just sit there twiddling a pencil, and it's not like that.
You've got to have something to show at the end of it.
Yeah, I can finish. I can be painting, and people can be talking to me, and I don't even know that they're there. And it's like they're talking to me afterwards and says, oh yeah, I came round, I was talking to you, you didn't say anything, so we left. I didn't even know they'd been. Well,
this is the thing. I mean, to describe to the people that are obviously listening in now, Gary's work is set out here, and you're working on a piece now whilst we're at the Illustrators Fair in front of people. And I was like, I just spoke to you, and I was like, that'd be my worst nightmare.
Oh no, yeah, well, you talk in front of people, it's the same thing. That's your job, this is my job.
But you're so good at it, and you talk about distractions and things, but you do this amazing work around so many noises, and today's going to get busy, imagine in here. And do you thrive with that? Is that like your audience? Does that make you?
To be honest, you're not aware of it. You're in the painting. You're doing what you're doing. You're concentrating on what you're doing, and it's like there could be nobody there. There could be 100 people there. Yeah. You just don't notice.
Just focusing on what you're doing. Yeah. So if anybody wants to come see your work, obviously there's stuff at Soden Gallery. But have you got a website or something people can go and see your work?
Yeah, GaryDrew.com.
Yeah. I think your work is amazing. I really genuinely, I remember being up on the cop, staring up, at the top of the cop there, Soden Gallery, just staring in the window at your art piece and seeing the little bits of Beano and stuff in there. It's just mind blowing.
Well, you can see work throughout Shrewsbury. I've got work in the beer garden of the Anchor Pub over in Frankwell. House of Beauty, there's my works there if any of the ladies have been in for, even the men as well.
I spoke to them, they come on my show, yes.
Yeah, well, I've done all the painting in their interior, all of Seven Social.
So you did the flamingo?
Yeah, that's me, the pink flamingo, yeah,
wow,
that's me. Yeah, that's me, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I've done all the artwork down there.
Are you local to Shrewsbury then, or are you?
I might as well be. I think I've done more work here than anywhere else. I really do think that Shrewsbury for me is where I've done most of my work.
Something in the water, though. I always say that on the biscuit. Yeah. Something in the water in Shrewsbury. It's so creative. Are you looking for inspiration from other artists today, or do you do that? Do you take like little bits?
Oh no, I'm pinching. I pinch ideas all the time. I see people and I see what they're doing, what they're producing, and I'm just thinking, oh, that'd look good on a painting. And I think everybody does that. Even
that's where you get inspiration from, isn't it,
subliminal, it's all...
You see a flower, you think, I want to paint the flower.
Yeah.
It's everywhere in life. That's natural, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? Thank you for chatting to me. And I know we've had a quick, 7-minute chat here.
Yeah.
But I'd love to invite you on the biscuit properly so we can have a real, just like we did. I did I've done a few of the artists here today. So Matt Sewell over there, I can see, But it's nice sometimes just to have coffee, sit and talk. So,
I'll go for that anytime. Yeah.
Thank you for chatting to me today. I hope you have a great day, and good luck with this amazing art that you're putting together now. I can see it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for chatting to me. Peace out. Hey guys, we're still at Drawn today. I'm speaking to my second person, so thank you for coming on. Second person, yeah. The first person I called was Gary Drew, just right here, amazing artist. And the beauty of this is we can just hit record and go. And Cherie's like, "Oh, this amazing photographer. We need to introduce you." And I was like, "Well, get on the microphone and let's get to know each other." So, want to introduce yourself?
So I am Josh. This is my first time doing anything like this. So I'm a photographer on Milk Street. I have a studio just above a little coffee shop called Hopefully Made.
Wow.
And I've been doing it since just before lockdown, so about a little while now.
Is that because of lockdown, or did you start and then lockdown just happened by itself?
It was... Lockdown kind of forced me into thinking, okay, what do I actually want to do with my life right now? Because everything's turned upside down. Worked at a butcher's for a little bit. That's the weirdest thing I've ever done.
You need a bit of life experience doing these kind of jobs. Exactly. I was a joiner for 2 days once.
Oh, for 2 days?
It was an apprenticeship, and they were using me to pull the guttering rigs up, and then they were like, okay, off you go. It was a weird... Anyway, you need that life experience, though. Photography, though, has that always been your calling from a young age, or is this something new you picked up?
Yeah, since about when I was 11. So I was... my older brother, this is going back a bit, so my older brother wanted to get a Facebook account. He was like, I need some pictures. So I whipped out a little phone and was taking pictures for him, and I was like, I really enjoy this. So after that, I got bought a little Nikon camera, and just away I went, really.
I need to. It's something that I haven't really sort of ventured into yet, because I'm all about the audio, not the visual,
Yes.
And we've just got, fortunately, an equipment grant, so I need to buy a vlog camera, and I know nothing about it, right? So I need to put some research into it, and I've worked with people that have borrowed me cameras and stuff, Charles Denscom from Micro Videos, and the guys from SAS and stuff. But now, when it comes to owning my own thing, I'm like, oh my God, there's a huge panic inside me, because you got to have the right tool for the job, right?
Yeah, I was the same. When I was picking what camera to actually use as a business tool, I was just looking everywhere. And just do your research.
They're expensive pieces of kit that can you go wrong? Is it easy to go wrong buying the wrong thing?
It depends what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a vlogging camera, I'd always say Sony, but I'll probably get shouted at.
We die hard there. They're like, no, you don't need to spend that much. It's a funny thing. So you've got a studio on Milk Street.
Yeah.
Very nice place to have a studio, right?
Lovely place, lovely. So there's two girls, Hope and Becky, who run the coffee shop, and I've been friends with them for a few years. And we they've been going since April, I think it was, that they opened. And they were like, we've got space upstairs. So I was able to use one of their studio spaces. And it's just become my little working hub. I'm never in there. I'm always downstairs in the cafe.
It's nice to know. We're looking for a studio in town somewhere. It's nice to be there, though. It's nice to be around the people.
It's just nice to feel like you're part of Shrewsbury, really, especially being in the middle of Shrewsbury. And it's really nice. And you can come to things like the Drawn Festival and stuff, where we're actually mixing with local creators, and it's really
that's what it's all about for me today. It's starting to fill up now, which is great. I love that ambience in the background. Also because it drowns out the music that I'll probably get sued for. Way too much of it. But that's what it's all about, and I'm so happy to see so many people here. And I've got this little hidey hole as well, so I can kind of dip out, sort of speak to people, and then hide again for a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. It's good.
What's the kind of work you like to work on then? Because I know some photographers have a niche, don't they?
So I've been discovering my niche over the past year, but it's people. Normally candids, things like that. I would like to get into weddings, but there's a lot of wedding.
I imagine there's lots of competition.
There is a lot of competition. But it's just working with people, and what I say my niche is trying to bring out people's emotion, who they actually are as a person, instead of posing them.
Subconscious. That's like that Winston Churchill portrait.
Yeah, naturalistic type. So that's what I go for, and I don't always achieve it, but it's nice to know that's what I enjoy doing. So I tried product and things like that, and it's not the same. I don't get the same feeling.
Some people have got to feel it, haven't you? You've got to feel what you're doing.
Feeling, yeah.
I always find photography, I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but kind of wasteful in the way that out of 1,000 pictures, there might just be one that you used.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, tell me about it. But it's always worth it for that one. And hopefully, if you're a good enough photographer, you won't just get one. But yeah, there's always one that stands out. Pretty much every shoot I do at the moment, which is really good. And I just look at it and I'm like, I've captured who that person is, or I've captured the moment in time, which is really nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
I work well with James Warman. He's come to do bits with us before. I don't know why I didn't invite him here today, to be honest. I went for a few beers at the Abbey last night, and kind of momentary lapse. Probably should have. But he's fantastic, and speaking to him and learning about how street scenes can be seen as art, and I get it, I totally get it, but like as a guy with a lens, I wouldn't know where to look,
No, he's got an incredible eye. I follow him on Instagram, and just the way he captures things, he really does look at the tiny details as well, and things like that. He's really good.
So are there like a circle of photographers that you guys all support each other and stuff and inspire each other?
To be honest, I'm very much by myself at the moment. Like, I say I know James, but I know him because he pops into the cafe every now and again. But other than that, not majorly. I know a photographer up north in Middlesbrough, so miles away, who's become a bit like a photography mentor. He's a lovely guy.
I can imagine it being a bit like the Wild Wild West, so one at the top of Pride Hill, one at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you got your cameras ready to draw.
Exactly. You see them and you run away.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, no, it's good. I feel like I'm gaining a lot of ground every time I go and do a shoot, which is really
it's nice to be invited to things like this and being part of social events like this, because I feel like I take a slice of these things every time there's a little bit of something I take with me. Like from the Abbey last night, there's people, this is going to sound really weird, and I'm trying not to sound really vain when I say this, but there are people that actually recognise me, and that's like, it's always a weird thing anyway. I'm not one of these like, oh yes, I'm the biscuit guy. So when somebody's like tapping me on the shoulder, hey, I know you, I listen to you.
Yeah.
That was just a really nice thing. I felt like I was the guy that was in the way at the beginning, but I went there, left there feeling really good about it.
Yeah. No, that's really good. It's who you know, isn't it, at the end of the day as well? And
I've just met Gary Drew as well. Yeah. And you.
Oh, lovely. Yeah,
this is nice to meet you. Josh, tell people where they can find you and stuff.
So you can find me on Instagram at Joshua_James_photography_. And also I do have a website. It's under maintenance at the moment, and I probably should know what it's called, but
if it's under construction, you're allowed to.
Yeah. But
and do you know what? I'm going to shove up my microphone in your face. We literally just got introduced, and I was kind of like, right, fire up the microphone. That's how awkward this is, but I love it.
Well, I feel like it's gone all right.
I think it's been great. I think that's what I mean. So, I throw you under the, in the deep end, but look at us, learning to swim together. I know. That's a great analogy. I should definitely write that down.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really good. Josh, it's been amazing to meet you.
Yeah, it's been lovely to meet you.
And we'll exchange details.
Yes.
And we'll stay friends.
Yes, definitely.
And I'll come see your studio sometime. We'll get a proper podcast.
Awesome. That'd be good. It's very tiny, but it's my home.
It's
really.
A start. It's a place where you can call home for your business.
Exactly.
It's the start. It's the epicenter. There you go.
Awesome.
Right, guys. Right. Well, thanks for chatting to me.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Hello, I'm Alex from Shrewsbury Biscuit. Would you like to introduce yourself, artist?
Oh, I'd love to. My name's Julianne. I pick watering cans, and I'm called by Julianne Pugh, which is literally me.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm looking at your work now. It's so fantastic. I need to ask you, though.
Go on.
When's the first time you decided I'm going to paint on a watering can?
Right, so I have to take you back. I was restoring 2 beehives, and I kept getting a little bit stressed out by it, and I thought, when I was at school, my maths teacher would always get me to do like a like a brain teaser, like a little 5-minute activity before you actually start doing the big textbook of maths and so on. And I had this watering can, and at the moment I live in London, and of course you don't have very much space when you live in London.
No, of course.
And I was sick of my watering can always being like out on display and looking a bit naff, and I kept thinking to myself, like, why am I making something beautiful, aka my garden, I think it's beautiful, I don't know, with something so ugly? No.
If it makes you smile, then it's beautiful, you know?
Yeah, literally that. Yeah. And so every time I went to go start painting this beehive, I was like, right, I'm going to do 5 minutes on my watering can. And as soon as I finished the beehive, someone saw those and they're like, can you do my doll's house? And I was like, yeah, I've never done doll's house before. And she was like, great, it's 150 years old. I was like, great, okay. And next thing you know, I find myself with another watering can because I'm getting a little bit, looking at this big antique object, thinking, how am I going to colour this one? And from there on, I just ended up painting lots of watering cans.
So is it like something that you can do to take you to another place? You know what I mean? Like, so you can do paint a watering can, and it helps you with the bigger ideas.
Yeah,
you know,
completely.
It's therapeutic then.
It is completely that. So what I quite like is when someone sees that you can paint a watering can, it makes them suddenly think, okay, I could paint my kitchen table. I don't need a like tablecloth, for example. Let's paint it. And from there on, like at the moment, I really, really want to paint someone's garden gate. I've just got a garden gate in me that needs to be let loose. And I recently finished a big statue of a horse, which was a bit bonkers. That was something different. And when I first said yes to the horse, I didn't realise how tall he was going to be. And I went to go meet him, and he was 3.5 metres tall, and I had to use a ladder to get to his ears. It was absolutely
a real horse then?
Statue of a horse.
I was going to say.
Imagine that. Trying to keep him still.
Fair play though. I mean, like, it's not easy to take everyday items like a watering can, or, you know, a statue of a horse, and then paint something really wacky and crazy but beautiful. Yeah. You know, because it's not, you can't, you know, you're not just painting a single colour over a thing.
No.
It's your own spin on it.
It's literally about giving a little bit of colour to your routine. So when I first launched the watering cans, I then thought to myself, okay, what other routine can we bring colour to? So I also did a little tobacco tin, and what else was there? There's also some scrunchies because I wanted to have something that was like an accessory. So it basically meant that I could have a finger in every pie, one way or another. And it ended up being the watering cans that everyone went wild for.
It's your niche now, isn't it?
Yeah, completely.
I'm the biscuit guy, you know what I mean? The biscuit guy, the watering.
Yeah, definitely.
And Matt Sewell's over there, he's the bird guy. You know, he came on my show before. I was like, it's Matt Sewell, the bird guy.
I mean, they're bloody beautiful birds, aren't they?
They are fantastic birds.
I love them.
I walk around Shrewsbury, like, there's a Matt Sewell.
Yeah.
There's another Matt Sewell.
Yeah. What are you doing today? Going bird watching.
And in fact, I just done the Facebook Live, and I was like, I walked into the gift shop, I was like, oh look, it's Matt Sewell.
Yeah. No, I went to Bristol, and that's where I saw one of his books, and I had a little like, I know him, little moment, and I think that's really special, and that's why I love doing markets like Drawn, because you end up seeing so many people, meeting so many people, both sides of the table, so like the people that come, but also the people that are working there, basically. Yeah. And everyone's doing really bloody cool things, and I adore it.
It's really nice because, you know, I was chatting to Gary over there, Gary Drew. Yeah, and we were talking about how people expect artists to be these eccentric, crazy, like,
yeah.
You know, but they're not. They're really down to earth, just normal people. I've been chatting to Gary all day, and he's amazing at what he does. So, sorry, my love, you okay?
No, it does take like a little bit of patience, and what everyone always gets surprised about is when I'm actually painting, I'm so quiet, and I'm so like it's a different side to me that a lot of people don't get to see. And when I do events like this, I'm quite larger than life. But I think, why not? You've only got like 6 hours to shine, so let's be on stage and spread a bit of good energy to everyone.
Do you feel like, when talking about energy and transferring of that sort of kinetic energy, do you feel like it definitely, you know, when you feel in certain different ways, it reflects on your art and what you've made?
Oh my God, totally. Yeah. It really, like, I think your attitude and your outlook can really transform and flow through the work that you do. And so, you know, I always try and be a little bit positive.
If you're feeling sad, you might make something that reflects that. Or I don't know. I mean, subconscious is very important.
No. So for me, it's something that I found recently, which is really odd, is every single piece of work, or not piece of work, or collection, let's say collection, there's always something in it that's a seed planted that's connected to the person I'm doing it for, and it's not until I finished it that I realise, oh my goodness, that's why I've done it this way. So, for example, what's a good example? The grit that makes the pearls. So I have a series of watering cans that have different slogans on.
Okay.
And one of them says, it's the grit that makes the pearl. And when I was doing the Drawn event in the summer, that's what I painted it for. And I did a whole series of prints that have these big positive messages, because sometimes when you've had a tough day at work and you come home, you just need someone to say, you know what? Grow, flower, grow. Or what are the other ones? Yeah. You're just the bestest.
You see all these memes of the guy that's just given up digging just before he got to the gold. You know, you've got to keep that kind of analogy. Yeah.
But it wasn't until I had the watering can out on display that Cherie came over and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Julianne, my daughter's called Pearl," and I had this moment of, there we go. Okay, great. That's why I did it. And about a year ago or so, I did a collection of watering cans that had daisies all over. And the event that I was going to was organised by a lady called Daisy, and I thought, okay, this is a little bit bizarre. And also, like, the colour placement's quite important to me. So when I start painting, I often will sit down and do 2 or 3 colours that I think really clash, and I spend the rest of the time trying to make a sense of harmony throughout the whole piece of work. And it's almost like problem solving. And it's not until I'm satisfied with how it looks that it is successful almost as a design. And so I did an orange watering can, and then I put coffee stripes down it, like orange and coffee. Honey, don't put those together. And that was sat in my studio for like a good 3 weeks before I figured out, okay, we're going to put a turquoise and then a bit of a rose red on it, and then maybe a bit of violet, and there we go. We brought so I always say to people, like, the process can sometimes be a little bit ugly, but the end result is...
Do you have a project that sits on a shelf staring at you unfinished and you kind of like, one day I will finish you?
Definitely. So it's not sat on the shelf. It is someone who lives on my road, because of course during lockdown I was doing a lot of work outside as well. She saw what I was doing and she stopped dead in her tracks and said, she's from Manchester, excuse my accent, she was like, "Julianne?" I was like, yes.
I love it.
How are you doing? She said, "I love it. Right, 4:00, come round, cup of tea, I need to show you something." And I was like, okay, great. And so she walked me up into her guest bedroom, which has like an 8-panel wardrobe, and she was like, "I want you to paint something for me. I don't know what, da 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 da." And as it's transpired, this project's now turned into, I want you to imagine you've told an alien what a circle, a square and a rectangle is, and you've given them a paintbrush and you've done a mural. That's what I want. And so I've spent the last year, and I think that's what's honestly still coming through with my design today, is me trying to think about this mural that I'm painting for the lady who lives down my road, who I absolutely adore. But yeah, I don't know how it's going to come out with the composition and so on, and I love her so much, and I feel like I'm going to be giving her a permanent tattoo, because I'm going to be painting across
this thing.
It's like the canvas is about 4.5 metres by 2.5 metres tall. It's the biggest piece I'm ever going to do.
Wow.
And every time when I sit down to paint, I'm still thinking about, imagine what an alien would do if you showed them a circle, square, a rectangle. And I absolutely adore Memphis, and I think you can kind of see that here. But yeah, that's the project that's sat on my shelf.
It's not an easy thing to, pointing to Matt Sewell, does these huge murals, or I kept saying Muriel.
No, don't worry.
I was like, it's a very naked, vulnerable thing to do, because it's
definitely.
Like right in people's faces, and I could definitely not do that.
No, I was painting on Camden High Street in the summer, and
of all places,
why not? I mean, it was great fun, and it was the piece that I was doing was again 2 metres by 1.5 metres, and I ended up doing it with my board leaning against the shutters, and next to me I have lots of tourist shops and so on, as you do on the high street, and all of the stall holders now, even today when I walk down, have the joke, they're like, "Morning, Julianne, is it finished yet? Is it finished yet?" I'm like, leave me alone, because at the time I couldn't paint inside the art gallery I was working for, because they had so much building work going on in the dust and so on, and so I just found myself on the street talking to the public, doing a bit more painting. And what really touched me was there was one gentleman, he was maybe in his late 70s, a musician I think, and he came one day and he just stopped and he said, "You've turned it around and I love it." And no one had noticed at all that I turned around the piece, because it was very abstract. And that to me just said that the small details that you have in the street every single day are just gorgeous, but that people actually do pay attention to what you're doing, even when you kind of blend into the high street. And I thought, okay, cool, someone will notice my work and it will be...
I think it makes it more worthwhile as well, though, because, if you make something that's like, da-da, there's this thing, da-da, there's this thing.
Yeah.
If you've got to really work for it, and little by little make these changes that make something artistic and beautiful, and something that people can really treasure, I think that you value it a bit more.
Completely. I mean, that's why I say it is creative problem solving, and for me, like, the colour placement turns me inside out, and it will get there. And
it's a reflection of you, isn't it?
So true.
I love chatting to you, and I wish you the best today. Hope you make a bit of money. Where can people find your work?
So I'm on Instagram, and it's at by Julianne Pugh, and then I've also got my website again, www.byjuliannepugh.com, and where else? I mean, at the moment I'm based in Greenwich. I'm always nipping back and forth to Shrewsbury and stuff, and I'm only one message away from anyone, let's be honest.
Well, I've loved chat. You've got a really amazing positive energy, so thank you for chatting to me today. It's really nice.
Thank you.
All right, okay, moving on. Thank you very much. Matt Sewell.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Brilliant. Fantastic. So this is the second drawn event you've done?
Yes.
How do you feel about this? Good?
Good, yeah. It's nice. It's the most wonderful time of the year. As I've been told by the Christmas playlist on loop.
Yeah, on loop.
And by the tree, and by the music.
Everybody's looking in this direction, Matt. No, it's
the birds.
It's definitely the birds.
It's the birds, yeah.
How have things been since the last time you spoke on the biscuit? Have you been working hard?
Kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a mad sale in my studio. I'm moving studios, so I'm kind of... I've got a load of...
Still moving.
Stuff, yeah, it's still in the middle. It's still directly in the middle. But, sold. Yeah, I was going to chuck a load of stuff out, and I thought I'll have a sale instead. And Jess, my wife, was just like, you can sell this, sell that, whatever. So we got it all set up, and there was people, like, I didn't think anybody would come, but people were queuing up down the road.
Wow.
And everything was gone in, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
People love
it was
man.
Nuts. And, it was pretty crazy. So that kind of, like, wiped me out all week. Really, but now I got ready for this, so I've been painting lots of little originals for the bargain price of £50.
Nice.
Just for, I sell my prints that are the same size for £45. So if anyone gets one, they've had a bargain.
Yeah.
And my books, which I'm signing and stuff for people. So
your book has taken pride of place at home on my bookshelf. Like Matt Sewell gave me that.
Good.
I love it.
It's nice to know. Did I give you one of these ones?
You did. Save Our Birds. Yeah, you did. And I love it.
You're reading it and studying on...
I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I haven't had a chance to read anything. Like, my life is just nuts at the moment. So I may take it to work one night when I'm not busy and just breeze through it, because it's a beautiful book. It really is. This is all really important. Being around other artists and stuff. Do you know a lot of these guys? Have you met them before, or you just meet them for the first time?
There's some familiar faces from last time and some new people, which is good.
Yeah?
When it quietens down, I'm going to go and introduce myself and buy some. I've already bought off Julianne some lovely
She's
baubles.
lovely. I've just spoken to her. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
She's the watering can lady. I was like, well, that's Matt, the bird guy.
Yeah, well,
his niches.
The bird dude.
He's
here.
Dude. Yeah.
And I'm going to probably spend all my earnings on trinkets and fineries.
Make some money, spend some money,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to having a little wander around.
Yeah. When your studio's up and running, I'd love to come and take a look.
Yeah, do so. Come in, have a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Right, and a biscuit.
Yeah.
We get some Shrewsbury biscuits in. Right, brilliant.
Brilliant.
Thanks for chatting to me.
Cheers.
Thanks.
No worries.
And so we're still at Drawn, and I found Cherie. How are you?
Hiya. I'm a little crazy.
You are. You're here. You're there. She's everywhere.
I know, and I'm supposed to be handing bags out, and I keep going back to my stall and fanning around.
Yeah, well, it looks fantastic. It does. Everything does here today. I'm blown away by the atmosphere here today. Are you happy?
Yes, I am, but what's it? It's a marathon, not a race.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, you're here for 2 days, and I've seen a nice steady stream of people wandering in, having a good look, and the conversations actually. I'm sat here by Gary, and
it's a nice place to be.
And some of the conversations I've hit, people coming talking to him, getting to meet the local artists, and that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, making money's great, but
Yeah, no. I mean, there's the funding side. It keeps us all going. It keeps Shrewsbury creative and fun and a good place to be for everyone. But I mean, once we've set up, we are supposed to be having fun.
Yes.
Matt has already mentioned mull wine, and I don't. What is it? We're not even at lunchtime yet.
Wine.
Mull wine, like a Christmas. He was saying get a camping stove from Millets. maybe not. Obviously not. But
are these guys your people? Is it nice being around these guys?
yeah, isn't it? Yeah. I'll have a little wander around myself in a minute because there's so many lovely people I want to talk to.
Yeah.
I need to get over. I think this is my moment now to start enjoying it.
Yeah, there's always that, man. When it comes to like organising events, I do speak to people about that moment where you just sit and look at what you've built. You know?
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
No.
Maybe the mull wine will help me. Maybe I'll get a bit too happy, a bit too festive on the mull wine.
I've got to say though, you know, when you're putting something together like this and everybody comes to you, I need this and I need chairs, and I'm like, I only got nowhere to put my
you were
microphone.
really sweet though. You were patient, and the trouble is, then somebody else asks you for something. It's a bit like being a waitress, you know, back in the day. You get loads of people asking you, and if you're not careful, one of them gets forgotten.
But you know what? You're introducing me to so many amazing people today because I've come here. So thank you for inviting me. You know, I had a really good interview with Gary and Josh here is taking pictures.
Yeah, it's awesome,
you know,
isn't it?
I love these guys, and I'm going to go and get some interviews now.
Yeah.
And speak to everybody here.
I feel a bit like my hand's been cut off though, because my phone's been used for the music, so I can't.
Maybe that's not
I'm
a bad thing.
offline. Yeah, I'm offline. I'm in the moment today.
Yeah, you're absolutely living in the moment.
Although I feel I should be telling everyone, singing about it, but
you can't contact me today.
Yeah, I know.
I'm music today.
Yeah, today I'm doing crooners, and anything. I've discovered there's no cool Christmas music.
No, I think you're onto something there.
I found the old stuff is the best.
There's Darkness. There's that one that Darkness
Oh my
did.
gosh.
That was,
yeah. He was on The
quite
Mask recently, wasn't he? It was a little bit weird, and he took the mask off, and everybody was like, "Who's that?" And it was the guy from The Darkness. Yeah.
Wow, I believe in a big good love.
He was a chameleon. Yeah.
Working with the museum, how has it been with setting things up with them? Have you got a good relationship with them?
They've stretched themselves quite thin. There's quite a few things going on here today. There's what sounds like a wonderful wreath making workshop upstairs. I have trouble with the word wreath. Wreath. Thank you.
Yeah, wreath.
One of those upstairs.
Yeah.
So we're good. And I mean, by tomorrow we'll have it down, won't we?
Yeah. I did have a chat with the guys downstairs, and the one lady was like, I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and she was like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm not sure that many people will watch it, and she's like, I follow you. I'm sure people will. I was just like, that's really nice.
Can you do a Facebook Live, Alex?
I did one at the beginning.
Is that what you were doing? Because
Yeah.
I've never done Facebook
I should
Live.
probably walk around with a sign above my head going, "We are live."
Yeah,
We are live. Please do not
like
swear.
flashes, like
We'll do another one in a bit. We've got a competition as well, haven't we, Sue?
like aeroplane or whatever it is, and the police car at the beginning. It's good, and then it's the toilet.
We've got the competition as well. We're going to be doing that. Obviously, this is going out past tense, but like I don't know. What time did we say that was for?
It ends at 4 today.
Ends at 4, so we'll do that
but
at 4.
we've got a changeover tonight. I've got other people coming to set up for tomorrow. So you've got new people to talk to tomorrow.
Amazing.
Hopefully you're still holding up by then.
Yes. I'm going to pop by for a couple of hours tomorrow because we've got a lot going on tomorrow. I've got a podcast to do at 5 o'clock as well.
Oh my
tomorrow,
gosh.
So, and
You're
I've got
in
to work
demand.
a night shift that night as well. So it's going to be a difficult one, but I'll be here for a couple of hours.
Okay.
We'll leave this here.
Well, I wanted to get you a coffee. Perhaps tomorr's the time to do that. I feel it might be where you're flagging a little bit.
Well, last night I was at the Abbey. They did the beer festival for Ling and Davis at the Abbey, and I had a few drinks. And then before that, I had my work do. So I did this drunken Facebook Live. I'm at the Abbey. And then
as long as there was no KFC.
and then this morning, obviously, I did the live, and I was like, I'm very sorry for my actions.
Yeah.
If
I haven't seen it.
anybody.
I feel if I had my phone now, I'd have a look.
It's weird though because I'm kind of liberating myself from my hat at the moment. I'm not wearing my hat. So I bring up the camera. I'm like, oh, there it is. That shiny head of yours, you know.
I hadn't even noticed.
Well, this is it. I'm trying to get people used to seeing me bald.
Okay, well,
I wear my hat so much. When I take my hat off, people are like, oh, I didn't realise you were.
Well, do you know what? I'm talking to you now, and I hadn't noticed. You drawn attention to it.
Everybody look at my head.
I take you in. Right.
Cherie, thank you for putting this together. I feel like it's something that's going to grow and you know...
I can't quite believe I've done it sometimes. Oh, look at these two dancing.
No, look at this. Well, dance off, bro. That's Tat Effby, by the way, if you didn't guess already.
I know, she's got the moves right, yeah. They're like a duet.
Oh, God. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to take this mic. I'm going to wander around, speak to some of these amazing artists and talk about what
I need
they're
to get
doing.
more people to draw downstairs. I've been there. I think I gave the pen to Gary. I don't know if he actually went and did it or just kept my pen.
He's been so busy. He's been one person after another trying to. People are really interested in what he's doing.
Yeah, but isn't that great that you can see somebody working and doing stuff? Love
that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to even attempt to draw anything on your board because I'm not an artist. I mean, you can't put my vocals on a board. I can breathe on it, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I kind of would like you to do something. Can you not just do like a tag? I'll tell you what.
I'll draw a biscuit.
Oh yeah, draw a biscuit.
I'll draw a cookie.
That's a bit more tasteful.
Yeah. We'll recreate that beautiful picture we did of you holding the biscuits
can
over
you
your
do
eyes.
that?
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I'm going to have a wander around, find some artists to speak to. Thank you again for letting me be here, and maybe I'll get you.
No, you're welcome. You're very much part of it. It's nice.
No, I'll get an interview with you at the end. See how you're feeling then.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
Brilliant. Hello there. Would you like to introduce yourself to the Shrewsbury Biscuit unknown artist that I've never spoken to before?
My name's Tat Effby.
Tat Effby.
Yeah,
Effby.
We've never met before. I'm thrilled.
E-double-F-B-Y, right?
That's right. Yeah,
right.
T-A-T, not P-A-T.
Yeah, Pat. That was so funny. Have you ever done that? Have you ever like a weird momentary sort of blur with words?
God, my entire life is like that.
That's how it works.
entire life.
I've just saw the view actually. Wow.
I have got an amazing view from my stand. We're looking out on the old market hall.
Yeah.
And I think last time we were here, you couldn't see out of these windows because I think they had some sort of boarding over them. But now the windows are open. It's marvellous. However, it's a little bit cold.
Get in tap. Yeah.
Smiley with the eyes.
It's weird. I'm not wearing my hat today. I'm liberating myself from my hat.
Yeah.
Alex is bold.
Yeah. Well, it's drawn. Can you get someone to draw on your head?
Yeah.
In fact, Cherie's got the Posca pens, hasn't
my
she?
knee pull hasn't been done yet, but so many people are like, you should definitely have one top of your head.
Oh, well, when we last spoke, it wasn't a knee pull.
No, it's just, oh yeah, so it's going to be a knee pull.
Is that where you're going to have it?
Yeah, I'm going to have my knee pull on my knee.
Okay.
I'm going to have F cancer tattooed around it. It's quite cool, right?
Good for you.
My wife's, I hate you. She hates it. But I can't have like a third nipple.
She's not letting you have it there.
Confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit confusing, yeah. But what do you wear shorts in the summer? Are you going to have it out?
Get my nipples out.
Yeah.
But
are you allowed two? One on each knee?
We've got to have symmetry, haven't we?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to discuss that later on. Yeah. We're drawn again for the second time.
Yes.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great. It's fantastic so far. It's a lovely, steady stream of people.
I feel like
nice people.
Every interview I do, the ambience gets a little bit more lovely and warm, and there's lots of people.
Yeah.
But not too many people though. That's what I like. People can just freely move around, and there are lots of people buying things, which is really nice to see.
Yes, it's going well already. So that bodes well for the.
Have you sold many bags?
I've sold one bag, but I sold mostly prints actually this time.
Good.
So.
Well, Cherie's you guys giving bags to people as they come in, so maybe they're like, oh, I don't need a tote bag now.
Yeah, but you see, the difference is mine has a very capacious gusset, so you can fit a lot more in. Not that I'm in competition.
It's got a bigger capacity.
Much bigger capacity.
And it's hand-drawn by the amazing Tat Effby.
Yeah.
You know. So,
No, there's plenty of room for these bags and those bags. We're
amazing.
all good.
Right, I'm going to keep moving around. What are you working on at the moment? Is there anything that you're like kind of focused on at the moment? Now that Drawn is out the way, and
when Drawn's out the way, I'm having either a breakdown or a reimagining of my Instagram. So I'm going to do cake stuff, and I'm having a little change around.
Cakes?
Yeah.
You are an amazing baker, I gotta say.
So watch this. Well, this space. Watch
this tray.
Yeah. Thanks, Alex.
That's my input for the day. Somebody take the mic off him.
Someone get this man a coffee and a biscuit, I think.
I want to go and get a cake in a minute. A cake and a coffee. Right, I'm going to move on and speak to some other artists, but maybe I'll catch you later on, see how you are
nice
feeling.
To see you, Alex.
Nice to chat to me. How's it going? I'm Alex. We met outside.
Hi, yes, I'm Mollie.
Hi, Mollie.
I am local. I've lived
I got to explain. Mollie was like, you don't want to give me a microphone because she, It's the same as me, though. I'm socially anxious. And when people it's weird when people recognise me and they're like, oh, you're Shrewsbury Biscuit guy, and you're talking to me about the show. I kind of forget about everything.
And you're like, oh, I talk for, like, I do this all the time, and now I can't do it. Yeah.
And then you go home and think, oh, I should have said that.
Yeah. Oh my God, massively. I'm always like reliving conversations and being like, why did I go there?
Especially when someone wrongs you. Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, and you think, I could have just come up with such a great...
ruined them in the moment.
Yeah. It's always in the moment.
Why didn't I do that?
Yeah. You just fail, but...
As an artist, where does this start for you? When you suddenly realise, I can do amazing things with stuff?
I think I always struggled quite badly at school because I'm quite severely dyslexic. So whenever a project came along where we got to draw or make a poster, I kind of thrived in that environment. And I kind of, whenever we had like group projects that needed someone to draw like the header or had to draw anything for it, I would just be like, I want to do that. That's my thing. So it kind of became kind of my identity in school as being like the drawer, like the one that everyone would ask to draw things for. And it kind of became a personality trait quite quickly.
How was that though with school? Were they accepting of that?
I think so, yeah. I had some really great teachers that kind of saw that was where I thrived, and that was where I really I felt most comfortable. And also they kind of used it in a way where I could introduce doing drawing as well as doing the academic stuff, sort of trying to like coax me in by saying you can draw it if you want, like you can illustrate the poem, you've just got to write the poem. So that's really you know, they found ways of making me feel more comfortable with the situation.
I love the idea of drawing poetry though. That's really
exactly, like illustrating words. Like I can't write the words, but I'll
almost like mental hieroglyphics.
Them. Yes, and just words with. The funny thing is a lot of my drawings do have words associated to them. So although I'm dyslexic, I really like putting words and naming my drawings and paintings is actually one of my favourite bits, because you kind of get to hint to what you were thinking when you were doing it.
There's a big FU to the words and
exactly.
Stuff.
Exactly. It's kind of like, well, I'm going to use you anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not good at you, but I'm going to use you all the time, whether you like it or not. I have... I do sometimes misspell stuff. Like I'll paint something and I'll be like, I've completely misspelled that.
That's you though.
Yeah, it's a part of the charm, and it's it's part of the authenticity of it, I guess.
When you get to a point though where you can suddenly start making money from this, how does that feel for you? So I can make
it terrifies me. It absolutely terrifies me. I am the most unbusiness-minded person that's ever lived. I get such a kick out of people having my art and enjoying my art and wanting it anywhere on their person or in their house, that when that money comes into it, I'm like, you just have it. It's fine. You can I'll just give it to you. In fact, take it all, because I just want them to have it more than but
to enjoy it. And I'm the same with the biscuit thing. I like to just talk down a microphone.
Yeah, trying to put a price on something that you just love doing is kind of difficult, because it's I would be doing it anyway. If you buy it or not, I'm going to paint it. So
the fact that people listen to my podcasts makes me so happy. You must translate the sort of same. Like, you enjoy something that I made.
I've made a thing, and you're now enjoying it. And
take it all. Take it all.
Yeah. It's a real. There's like such deep-rooted satisfaction in someone being like, I like what you've done, and I'm like, but I liked what I've done, and I liked making what I've done. So it's kind of like a nice.
I found myself sort of questioning, am I a narcissist, right, with what I do, right? And it is a valid journey
maybe
to go
have to be a little bit I think you have to be at least a massive self-advocate, because quite a lot of the time, especially with selling art and stuff, you have to be like, this is why you want my stuff. You want my stuff, don't you? Like, you have to advertise, you have to put your stuff out into the world and hope that it gets accepted well, and that's terrifying. And you have to kind of I'm constantly battling with that. Why would anyone want this anyway? I'm doing this for,
It's a weird type of thing though, being a creator. I mean, I speak down a microphone. I can't compare myself to an artist, but you've got to be able to be like, no, I am good at what I do.
But I think it is a kind of creative expression, isn't it? Because you're making a product and then someone's enjoying it and then you're getting feelings from that. So I think that is making stuff. I think, that's the sort of,
I love taking a walk around the inside the minds of our artists and creators.
Yeah.
And I always wonder what it's like for you when you're not working on something, when you've got these ideas bubbling around inside your head. What's that like for you?
I think it can be sometimes a bit frustrating because you're sort of just like, I really need to just do this idea. And it can get kind of a bit toxic in that way because you can kind of be like, God, I need to just put everything else in my life aside and concentrate on, doing this one thing. And I can hyper focus on things. And I can spend hours on a painting and be like, oh, I haven't eaten, drinking, or gone to the loo. Like, I need to stop doing what I'm doing and, live my life.
I've felt that so many times. Affinity designer is the worst thing I've ever. It's amazing because I make all my logos and stuff. But as soon as I start clicking around and moving things around, 3 hours later, and I'm like,
time flies. Yeah, like it's classic thing where when you're doing something you enjoy so much, you can just completely lose a sense of time and where you are in the world, and you'll be like, oh God, I've spent all day doing this painting. And that's something really lovely about that, because when I look at someone's work, I'm like, oh, they probably really lovingly went, did that. But at the same time, you're also like, oh, I need to prioritize living. So
is the deadline healthy for you then? Is it good to say?
I think it is for sure, because I am a bit of a procrastinator, and I found myself getting down like this. I'll do it later. But if you've kind of got a dead set thing, I think, although I consider myself a super anxious person, I do think I am a fighter rather than a flighter. Yeah. I am definitely I'm just gonna.
No,
I've got to do this now.
Yeah.
I've said I'll do it, so I've got to do it. It's
And I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
because you've done this interview and you really didn't want to.
Yeah, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified.
I didn't force Mollie to do it, by the way. But I kind of coerced. Coerced is the right word.
Strong coercion. Peer pressure.
Yeah, but you've done amazing.
Thank you
for chatting to me. Where can people follow you?
Mollie.V at Instagram. I post all my stuff on there. Lots of dog pictures as well, but other art stuff as well.
And if people want to commission you for something?
Yeah, just give me a message. I've got my email there and ways to contact me on there. So, yeah, feel free to give me a message and I'll work something out.
This has been amazing. I think we've gelled quite well with it.
Yeah.
I always say this, but genuinely, I'd love to speak to you more.
Definitely.
Like a coffee shop sort of sit down.
Yeah, I love that sort of just listening to a conversation. I think that's the joy of podcasts. It just feels like you're in someone's conversation and you can kind of interact. And
so it's frustrating. They were like, ask them this.
Yeah. There's been a few podcasts I've listened to and I'm like, I really wish they would talk about this subject, and they keep, but
it's good that when you go in, ask them that, ask it, and they ask it, you're like, oh, and they heard me.
Yeah. But also that you can sort of get a bit lost in your conversation. But I think that's kind of the joy of a podcast, is you can kind of get a bit wayward, but in a nice, constructive way.
Well, I've loved chatting to you.
Yeah,
today.
Thank you so much.
Do it again sometime.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Bye.
And this is where we're going to put a pin on things. This is the end of day 1, part 1. What did you think? I think it was very nice, organic, relaxing, flowing conversation. Even with the people that were a bit reluctant to speak to me, it's nice to see there is a natural passion when people talk about the things that they enjoy making. And in person, I know you get to hear the audio, but in person, you get to see the smile and the glow on their face when they're talking about the things that they're passionate about. And that's why I think, that's why I love doing what I do, really. Everything I do, nothing's scripted, really. It's just all natural, flowing stuff. And I think that's how life should be, Anyway, so thank you for listening to this part of the what is going to be a run of, I think, 3 podcasts. Please make sure you subscribe to the Biscuit in whichever format you listen to the show. If you listen to Spotify, make sure you hit the follow. Podbean, you can follow as well. And check out our website, which is www.theshrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. All of our content is on there. All the audio is playable from the website. And that's made by our friends at Web Orchard. If you do need a website, make sure you check out Web Orchard. They do an amazing job at what they do. And I'm very proud that they made such a great website for us. Right. I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully you'll now move on to day 1, part 2, and then after that, day 2. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Peace out.